Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dorothy Sanchez, and I'm here today as a mother who lost her youngest son, Jonathan Sanchez, to addiction. He's known in the streets as Wavy. Jonathan was my baby boy. He was my biggest supporter. He was a great friend, and everyone who met him loved him. He was adventurous, he was fun, he was easygoing. Jonathan graduated from a Christian high school early at the age of 16, and he went to Nyack College, and he got married before he was legally able to drink. But more than all of that, Jonathan had a heart for people. He really listened when others spoke, and he didn't judge. He cared deeply. He could make you feel better, like safe, like you could say anything to him. He would carry it with you. That's who he was. He was an encourager to many. He was an encourager to me. But then, like too many others, his circumstances changed, and like too many others, he went from choosing to get high and experiment and socially to being trapped in addiction. And addiction is not a game of chance. It's a trap, a life-threatening, unforgiving trap. Once it tightens its grip, it doesn't let go without a fight, and it escalates quickly and brutally. We watched that escalation over the years. We witnessed countless arrests, no fewer than 5 different prisons, multiple short-term rehab stays, outpatient programs, and finally, medicated assisted treatment, or MAT. Now I want to be fair and honest here. There are some people who believe that MAT works for them, and it may in some cases. And it helps, I know it helps to buy time. And I want to say sincerely, if you are alive and stable through MAT, I honor you. That is not a small victory, it matters. The decision to change and to fight for your life is crucial and significant. It is a step forward, and I recognize you and honor you today. But I also want to be clear. While MAT may help manage addiction, only a small fraction, fewer than 15% of patients ever reach full freedom from drug dependency, meaning no methadone, no Suboxone, no illicit opioids. Most remain dependent and just manage. And still, 1 in 10 and 1 in 4 on MAT will experience an overdose-related emergency. MAT may manage, but it rarely restores. It doesn't bring back the person we love. It actually normalizes addiction. That's my discontent, the robbing of hope, the slow acceptance that this is just how it's going to be, not just for the person in the trap, but for all of us. This is not what I think or my opinion. This is what I lived and witnessed, and it's not just me. Jonathan was in recovery, using and overdosing. In fact, in October of 2023, Jonathan was in a coma for 3 days. My family sat beside him, helpless, praying that he would wake up. I know you can't imagine just watching your child lay there and not knowing if he's going to breathe again. That kind of helplessness changes you forever. It changed me forever. He survived the coma and returned to the streets of Monticello until he was arrested in the summer of 2024. And what's ironic about his arrest is that the jail time released him from the prison of the daily drug grind. And if you know what I'm talking about, it's a grind to stay in addiction. It's hard work. That was the only time he would consider rehabilitation. Not in the street, not when he got stabbed, not even when he overdosed, but when he was removed from the insanity of his circumstances. Jonathan wanted help. He begged for it. When he was clear-minded, he wrote letters, he left voicemails. I have them, you can hear them. And he said something that still haunts me every single day. He said, "Mom, don't let me come home to Monticello. If I go back there, I'll die." He knew he wasn't delusional or careless. He knew the hold addiction had on him. He knew this town was covered with triggers and temptations and easy access to the very thing that would kill him. He even asked me to find some place for him to go outside of the state, so he couldn't easily return, because he knew without a mandate, he could just walk out and the torment of addiction would eventually lead him back here. But Jonathan was unexpectedly released from jail early. The unplanned release gave us no time to arrange a residential rehab, which resulted in his late night return to Monticello. And just like he said, he died. Jonathan was 33 years old when he died, and if I'm honest, I carry a lot of regrets. I made mistakes, and they're more than I can even count, and I live with the grief of not fighting then like I'm fighting now. I wrote a book called Jonathan's Legacy, Be the Light, not because I had something great to offer, but because I had a pain and a truth that needed to be told. And because Jonathan made a promise to God, I intend to see that promise fulfilled. He didn't want to die, but he also didn't stand a chance coming back to the same place, the same conditions, the same system that failed him repeatedly. Jonathan overdosed no less than 8 times in his last few months of life. And each time he survived death, he walked out of the hospital and came right back here because there was no other option, no placement, no structure, no care plan, no rescue. He was revived to die another day, and everyone knew that day was inevitable. And I want to stop right here. I want to give recognition to all of the first responders, the police officers, the EMS workers, the ER staff, who over and over again you showed up. You saved him even when the system's limitations failed. You never did. I thank you with everything in me. You gave him more time. You gave him another chance, and I will never forget it. I know it's exhausting and heartbreaking for you. I know you see the repeated cycle too. What you did mattered, but without a rescue plan, it only delays the inevitable. Let me say this clearly, and I'm just going to affirm what you said. It's not just your job alone to save our community. It's ours, the residents, the churches, the synagogues, the business owners, the legislators. We are Sullivan County. We have to be the ones to say, not here, not anymore. But we haven't been saying that. We've accepted the slow decay of our county under the weight of addiction. We've surrendered to harm reduction and managed dependency. Even with the glaring failing statistics, we've allowed Sullivan County to become known as #1 for opioid-related deaths. #1. I ask you, what does it say about us? When a young man pleads not to be sent home because home is where death is waiting for him. What does it say when he figured out that he can't get life-saving help here, that the programs and the system isn't working? I brought this photo here. It's a haunting moment, frozen in time for me. That's my husband, holding Jonathan's hand after we had to identify his body. I will never forget the cold of that moment, not just the temperature of his skin, but the cold reality of it all. We stood over our son and we looked at each other and didn't know what to do or say. What can you do? Hope is over. I found the answer in something he left behind. He once wrote a love letter to God, and in it he said he wanted to save 1,000 souls when he was clean. That was his prayer and that was his promise. And so I made it my mission. He once wrote a love letter to God, and in it, he wanted to make sure that what he felt and what he went through can touch and speak to somebody else's life. Through my grief, I created Jonathan's Legacy legislation, and I'm speaking up, not just for me, not just for Jonathan, but for every parent, sister, child, and friend who knows this pain. For years, I've been listening to those who write the policies and build programs and run systems. But I want to say this, they are not the experts, we are. The parents who bury their children, who sit in courtrooms and jail visiting rooms, the siblings and the children who grow up with this real life trauma. The ones who live it, not the ones who theorize about it or profit from it. It's time that we do take the microphone because we felt the pain and live the reality. It's time to let The real voices lead, the ones who carry the scars, the grief, and the truth about what addiction really looks like in our homes and our streets. Our children are not statistics. They get the statistics that get better and they get worse. No, that's not what they are. They have names, they have stories, they have purpose and potential, and we must not surrender their lives to addiction and allow their future and hope to be robbed from them. We can do better. We must do better. This is how I'm fulfilling Jonathan's promise to save 1,000 souls, but I can't do it alone. The police force can't do it alone. The ER workers can't do it alone. Will you help me? Residents, churches, synagogues, will you help me? Will you stand with me and change how we respond to addiction? Let's make Sullivan County not known for its deaths, but known for its courage. The courage to change, to reassess what's not working. I know this is a national crisis, but for us, can we start here in Sullivan County? Let's work together as a community to do all we can do to end this together. If you know that we need change, that we must change, I have a petition you can sign today and join your voice with mine, and let's save some souls. Let's be the light that restores hopes and lives. Thank you.